Welcome to the Stress Less, Live More podcast. I'm Baz.
And I'm Loz. And okay, we're going to do it today. We are talking about morning and evening routines. Now, don't switch off because I always say snore, but I'm sure you've heard it all, right? We've heard journal, we've heard meditate, we've heard ice bath, we've heard red light therapy, and they are the things that suggested for us to do a morning routine, aren't they, Baz?
Isn't that don't you have to do that to make your day perfect? You have to do the ice bath, the morning routines, and the journaling and the meditations and dancing. That makes the day perfect. It makes you a millionaire, doesn't it?
Well, today, in this episode, we are literally going to call the BS on morning routines, aren't we?
The BS.
Because, look, let's just get real for a minute. If you're a founder, a business owner, right, and you're juggling everything, you've got emails coming out of your ears, you might have kids, lots of things going on. Is there really time for you to be listening to these gurus that are saying you need to do like 2 hour morning routines? And today we really want to delve deep on this and actually talk about, why, yes, morning routines and evening routines are good, but we want to talk about making them realistic.
The reality of things.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the reality of these things where we know you've got families, we know you've got children, we know you've got a busy work life, you're running your own business, or you're managing a company. You've got real life demands where you can't spend 2 to 3 hours every single morning doing these routines.
Yeah.
It's just not practical.
Absolutely not. So this isn't about productivity today, people. Okay, this is not about productivity. This is how we're going to talk realistically about these bookends with tiny weeny things, right? How they can actually boost your energy, because that's what we all want, right? But before we start, we're going to make you an offer, aren't we?
We certainly are.
You have no idea what I'm going to say, do you?
I have not a clue what you're going to say.
If this is already sparking for you, then I'm going to invite you to book a 30-minute call with me. Not with Baz, with me, okay? And all you need to do is drop me an email, laura@rocksolidhealth.co.uk, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more.
Is this the way the episode's going to go?
What's that?
You're being so generous.
Maybe. Why? What do you want from me?
I'm just going to put my order in a minute. If you're giving, I want to take a 30-minute session with you, Lozzie. I'm going to phone. That will come out better.
Easy, Baz.
I want to book a 30-minute session with you.
But yeah, the 30-minute session is so that we can just talk about your current situation. Hey, you never know, we might be able to craft a little morning and evening routine for you.
That'd be wicked. But I think normally, Loz, we need to start with some stats.
I love a stat. Do you want me to read the stats?
Well, you are the stats queen, aren't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, although we read stats out, we need to remember that there are real people behind these stats. I think sometimes we can get just lost in numbers, but it's a good basis. So, in 2021, a study found that people who stick to consistent morning and evening routines report a 45% lower perceived stress levels. And I know I'm pointing at you at the moment. And research from Northwestern Medicine shows that structured daily habits improve mental health, sleep quality, emotional stability, and even productivity. And 92% of high performers say that a consistent morning routine positively impacts their day. People who start their day with an intention, which we're going to talk about in a minute, intentions, are 2.5 more times likely to feel fulfilled by the end of the day. And the final one, if you would just indulge me, evening routines reduce sleep onset time by 38%. Which means you're less groggy and more energized for the next day.
I do believe an AM and PM routine are a must.
Yeah.
For productivity, but more so for our general well-being and our health. If we can get these nailed, then it is a game changer.
Well, look, I mean, everybody that's listening, there's no secret, and that I have that diagnosis of bipolar and OCD. So routines are so important for me, and if I'm not in that routine, then you just don't want to know what's happening here.
Get out of the house.
Yeah, but not all routines are created equal.
No, and I think everybody is individual. So when we are looking at our routines and our AM routines and our PM routines, we need to devise them for the individual. Because I read so much about you've got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You've got to join the 4 o'clock club. Woohoo! Yeah, great.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
because there's massive guilt around that, isn't
100%.
there? You know, but we'll talk about that in a second, Baz. Just let's not clap ahead, right? Let's just take the pace. This is why I write things down, because Baz tends to clap ahead. So let's have a look at then why morning and evening routines matter. Now, we've been doing these with our clients for years, haven't we?
Since day one, really.
Yeah. And, you know, we often hear about billionaires do it, but it's really important for everybody to do it, as you said. And a morning routine for me, I don't know what it means for you, Baz, but a morning routine for me sets the day, right? Because I personally believe if you don't take control of your day and run your day will run you. Yes. And that's why I believe a morning routine is so important, because it gets you set for the day rather than waking up, emails, text messages, clients, you know, not eating your breakfast, whatever. That just is so frantic, isn't it?
But it gives you a setup for the day. Because a lot of people I speak to, they wake up in the morning and they're waiting for their body to wake up. They're waiting for their mind to wake up, and they feel really sluggish until they've had the cup of coffee. And actual fact, it's the warmth from the coffee that wakes you up rather than the caffeine. Caffeine takes 30 minutes, as we know, to get in our system. So it's that having that goal or that task to do first thing when you get out of bed. And it might be your morning routine is just washing your face with cold water. It gives you that first thing to do and saying, yes, I've done something proactive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing when we're looking at an AM routine. It's the intention behind it, and it gives us something to do.
Yeah. And then the evening routine is very much about stopping that day so that you know you're not carrying stuff over to the next day. It can be very, very easy to allow things to carry over to the next day, to the next week, to the next month. And that's why an evening routine is so important, to be able to, as we say, bookend the day. It doesn't matter what happens in between the day, but you know that you've set it up and you've finished it in the right way, giving you that kind of real foundation. And as you said, quite often we can think that these morning routines need to be massive, but in actual fact, can be the most tiniest thing. And we're going to share some things that you can do that you will be like, really? Is that all I have to do? Yeah.
Can you imagine just doing that one little thing? If you don't do it, you walk out the front door, go into work, toast hanging out your mouth, cup of coffee in your hand, running on the back leg. So you are like chasing your tail all day. Or you do this one little thing and you walk out the door floating. And you think, right, I've got today because I'm one step ahead of where I should be.
And here's the caveat to this, like what you've just said, and there's something deep within what you've just said there, Baz.
Oh, why, thank you.
And it's this, it's all about intention.
Intention. It's so important.
And we've spoken before on previous podcasts about us being human doings, right? And the most important thing with a morning routine, whether it is an hour or whether it's just 3 minutes, is intention. It's why are you doing it and what is it you want to get from it? And that, I feel, is the secret sauce that will make your routine, whether it's a minute or an hour, so impactful.
If you do something with that intention, you might as well not do it. And I've been there. I've had a morning routine where I spent a whole year doing stuff because I thought I had to do it. It was getting up at 5, doing the ice bath, coming in from my ice bath, doing a meditation. From my meditation, I would do red light therapy. From my red light therapy, I would go and do some flow movement. From my flow movement, I'd do some journaling. I was like, this is what I had to do. But there wasn't much intention behind it.
I mean, you must have been getting up at 3 a.m, Baz.
I was getting up at about 4:45, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, my first client in is at 7 o'clock, so it was taking me a good 2 hours to do the whole lab routine.
And it's really interesting because I haven't actually spoken to you about this before, because I know with Baz, if he's going to do something, he's going to do something. And I know you were doing all those things. And was it the fact that you were just doing them, or was there an intention behind them?
The intention was to see if they worked. And I don't think that is the right intention to do it, because that's not going to make me a better person. It was just, right, let's see what the ice baths do. Sitting outside, sort of Christmas morning at 5 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold. It was a challenge, and I love a challenge. I love doing the triathlons. I love doing the sporting things, but that was a different challenge, challenging me mentally to actually get up and do something. And yes, that challenge did work, but it didn't make any difference to my day, if that makes sense. Overall, it made me more resilient, because you're doing something that your body and your mind is telling you not to do, and you're overriding it. So yes, but doing everything in one day, no. Just pick one to start with.
Now, there might be people thinking, oh my gosh, Baz gets up at 4:45 in the morning and he's doing all that. Do I need to do that? And I used to feel very guilty about the fact that I'm a 7:30 girl. Right, so Baz tends to get up about 5 o'clock, half past 5.
About 5:30 now.
Yeah, and I used to feel really guilty and lazy and unproductive and like a bad business owner.
Too right, you should do it.
Because I wasn't part of the 5 a.m. club. No. Because I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. and I would feel really, really guilty for that. Mm-hmm. But it was actually a conversation with one of my friends, Britt, actually. And she said this to me. She said, but Loz, do you function better when you get up at 5 o'clock or when you get up at 7:30? And I said to her, well, I function much better when I get up at 7:30. She said, well, that's your rhythm. You do you, basically.
I would hate it if you got up at 5 o'clock with me.
Why is that?
Because you get in my way.
Do you know what?
Literally, you'd get in my way. I'd be like, clanging and banging around. And when you get up in the morning, you either don't talk to me or you have every question under the sun. And that's not what I want when I'm doing my morning routines, is you asking me so many questions.
I must admit, at the weekends, I love you so much with all of my soul, but you really wind me up at the weekends because you kind of get up the same time as me. And
no, you get up the same time as me.
No. And you'll be sat watching Gardener's World, and then all of a sudden...
Oh, I just give everyone my secrets.
And then all of a sudden, you decide, I'm going to make breakfast the same time as Loz. And I'm like, can you just get out of my way, please, babe?
See, that's why morning routines are different from weekdays to weekends, from one person to the next person. You need to define what your routines are going to be.
Absolutely. So, okay, little spat over with. Done. Happy. We've got that out of the way.
Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Because a happy wife is a happy life.
Now, I just want to talk for a second there, because we've talked a little bit about your morning routine, which you used to have, which you did for a year. I mean, your meditation was just like 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And your morning routines can anywhere be between like a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes to an hour if you want it. And do you remember when we was running the program F90, Freedom 90? And we had a whole week where we focused on routines, didn't we?
We did.
And we suggested to them that they have A, B, C routines, because sometimes, especially if you're an overachiever or a perfectionist, I'm talking to you, you will want to, say, well, it's an hour and that's it, and that's how it's going to be, and if I don't do it, then I'm a failure. But when you set something called a ABC routine, your A routine could be an hour, right?
Me too.
And it could be like gold standard creme de la creme, right?
The ones that I did for a year.
Yes, absolutely.
2 hours long morning routine.
The B routine could be kind of your everyday thing. So that might just be 30 minutes. It might just be 15 minutes, right? And the C one could be, I'm running, lack on time, so it's 5 minutes. But the main thing that sticks through all of them is, what's the I word, Baz?
Intention.
Yes.
And also, you've committed to doing this morning routine, whether it's the A routine, B routine or C routine, you're doing something before you go out the door. You're doing something that's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
You've won the day before the day started.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it sets this precedence for the rest of the day. And you say it could be just washing my face with cold water, or I'm going to sit there and just be mindful for 2 to 3 minutes on one thing.
Absolutely. And then evening routines don't need to be complex. Evening routines, do you want to know the big secret about an evening routine?
Would it be intention?
Yeah, but it's more about calming yourself down and winding down for the evening.
Calming that autonomic nervous system.
That's it. That is it, you know.
Mm-hmm. But also, when you calm that autonomic nervous system, calm yourself down from the day, you're preparing your body and your mind for rest.
Yeah.
And you're telling your mind and your body, it's the time to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Because so many times we finish work, then we go straight, have something to eat, then we go straight to bed. And your body's like going, what?
I couldn't do it. I mean, I don't know how people, so many of our clients are like, oh yeah, I eat dinner, then I do emails, and then I go straight to bed. And I'm like...
And I lay in bed and I'm scrolling.
Yeah, I'm like, how are you allowing your mind to like rest down and give it that space?
And I think it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I think the evening routine is the hardest, because you've come to the end of the day and you think, I just want to go to bed and sleep.
Yeah.
But it's so important that we do something. And yet again, you can do your A routine, you can do a B routine, and you can do a C routine here too.
Yeah.
So the A routine might be you shower, you moisturize, you take your makeup off, you read, you journal. All of these things can help you out. And the C routine might be just, I have a shower and I wash the day off.
Whoa, Baz. Just take a step back, right? Please, ladies, do not go to bed with your makeup on. Let's just take a few minutes to take it off, because trust me, your skin will thank you later.
Doesn't it come off when you have a shower?
No, Barry, you have to do it in a specific way.
Is that like wax on, wax off?
Let's start giving some practical tips then, because everybody at this point is like, well, what are we meant to do? So we're going to talk about the 3 dimensions of burnout, as we all talk about, and what can they do to find out which dimension of burnout they're struggling with the most, Baz?
Come and take the burnout self-assessment. It's free. It takes 2 or 3 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And you'll get a personalised report back after when you've done that.
Absolutely. So let's touch on mental burnout first, okay? And mental burnout, you are going to be struggling in the morning with racing thoughts, decision fatigue, the never enough narrative, and you're going to be a little bit negative. So with this one, what we need to do is we need to be able to change your narrative, don't we? The way that you're speaking, your language. And I have the perfect little thing to share with you on this one, don't I, Baz?
Go share.
So it's a 5-minute language reset, and I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes, and I want you to have 2 minutes to write down all of the negative words that you can think of. Get them out of your head. Stress, overwhelm, hate. See, I can't think of them because my brain just isn't full of those sorts of words. And then I want
fear, the negativity, the
anger.
judgment, anger, frustration, all of these feelings.
Never, can't, won't, all these sorts of things, all the negative ones.
Why me?
And then I want you to set a timer for 2 minutes. And I want you to write down all the positive words that you can think of in that 2 minutes. So joy, love, hope, harmony, optimism, creativity, expansion. You know where we're going with this one, right?
Passion.
And then the last minute, I want you to write down as many powerful I am statements. So I am a powerful creator. I am full of joy. I am happiness. I am a great business owner. I am a great mum, whatever it is, and write those things down. And what that does is that slowly starts to change your inner narrative. And by a couple of weeks, I bet you will struggle with all of the negative words, and the positive words will come a lot easier for you.
I love that. I love just that remapping the way your brain works.
Yes.
And that's all we're doing. We're just remapping it. And if you keep doing this over and over again, you're going to be surprised at how positive you wake up every morning. And you might even wake up looking forward to doing this task.
And so many of our clients have done this and they say, oh my gosh, I'm just using so much more positive words throughout the day. So that's mental burnout. And look, 5 minutes. Hello, people.
Let's go on to the emotional one. So emotional burnout, you're going to feel numb, you're going to feel disconnected, and you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed with that. So what can we do? Listen to some music. Watch something that's real funny. We want to change that internal feeling. And music is my powerful tool.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling a little bit like this, disconnected, a little bit numb, and I want to get myself G'd up, I just put some cracking tunes on. I sing, I dance, and also, if you want to watch something funny, Mr. Michael McIntyre is my go-to.
Well, I definitely struggled with emotional burnout when I burnt out. And I've said this before, Michael McIntyre got me through it because it
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre. It changes your energy. So definitely, favourite playlist, while you're brushing your teeth or making your breakfast, have a little bop, watch something funny. And get some sunlight on you is really important with this one as well. So again, how long would that take? 10 minutes?
If that. A song. What's a song nowadays? A song's got to be under 5 minutes to be in the charts. So 3 to 4 minutes, and you can do that all at the same time as well. Go and brush your teeth outside with your tunes on.
And the important thing to note here is this isn't about fixing you. This is about you feeling again, because that's what the emotional burnout does. It disconnects you.
So let's look at the third and final one, Lozzie. The physical.
I always want to sing, let's get physical. I always want to sing it. Anyway, I'm not going to
in tune, I hope.
Yes. And so physical burnout, you're just going to feel exhausted. Your autonomic nervous system is absolutely fried. So one thing we can do here,
tense as well.
One thing we can do here is what we call shaking.
Oh, yeah. Somatic work. Shaking your body, loosening it off, allow that energy to just flow through you.
Yeah.
And yes, you might think, I'm not doing that, I look silly. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares? You're by yourself. If you're going to do it by yourself. Doesn't matter whether you look stupid, you're going to feel great after doing it.
Yeah. And then some breath work while the kettle's boiling.
Yeah.
In for the count of 4, out for the count of 8, and just...
And remember, nose is for breathing, mouth's for eating.
Yeah.
Breathe through that nose, it's there for a purpose.
Absolutely. And how long will that take?
2 or 3 minutes.
But the most important thing is, A, you would have done the burnout self-assessment. It's free. You know what you need to do. But B, you've got an intention.
Yep.
You've got an intention. So when it comes to mental, change my thoughts and my narrative from negative to positive. When it comes to emotional, it's not about fixing, it's about feeling. When it comes to physical, it's not just about, moving my body for the sake of it. It's calming my autonomic nervous system. It's an intention.
And when you are feeling physically burnt out, the last thing you perceive you want to do is move your body, but that's what your body needs. Yeah. It needs to be moved. We need to move them toxins around to get you working again. Yeah. And it's not taking energy, it's just moving your body in a process.
So now I'm going to throw a spanner in the works.
You're never good at mechanics.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Go on then.
Because life, right? What happens when you've got a campaign running? Your kid's sick, you go on holiday. What happens then? What happens to our morning routines? Because that's the thing. I always say to somebody, did you stop doing your routine? Yes. What happened? Oh, something came up. And this is where we need to look at assessing and adjusting. That's why the ABC is so good, isn't it?
It is. And it is all about doing something. Doesn't matter what it is. Make sure you do a routine in the morning.
Yeah.
Not the A routine, but a routine, whether it's the A, B or C.
Yeah.
You're doing something so you're walking out the door winning.
And know that we need to swap this term perfect, right, for progress.
Perfection is never, ever. It shouldn't be a word really, should it? Because nothing's perfect.
Absolutely not. And when you think I've got to get the perfect morning routine, you're already setting yourself up to fail.
Yes.
Already. So make sure that you are regularly assessing, looking ahead. Have I got a busy time? How do I need to change it? And just keep that intention there, right?
What about these multi-millionaires who are succeeding in life? What are their routines like?
Well, Oprah starts her day with silence and nature, apparently. Tim Ferriss journals and drinks pu'er tea. I mean...
That's not the tea that comes out of the coffee that comes out of a goat, is it? Or something like that?
No, there is a coffee that comes out of cat's poo, isn't there?
That's it, cat's poo.
I've no idea what that's about. Michelle Obama prioritises exercise and sets intentions around her kids' school run. And you love a bit of Warren Buffett. What does he do?
Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading and studying and learning. And I think that's just phenomenal. He does that before he does anything else.
So no phone, no rush, just focus before he makes his intentions.
Yep.
Okie dokie, now it's over to you because we've got the reflection questions. And I know everybody loves these reflection questions. So should we do one for one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, why not?
Fine. So the first reflection question is, what's one intention I want to bring into my morning? What's one intention I want to bring into my morning?
I like that. And my question is, what does my current evening routine say about my ability to let go?
Oh, and do you know what? We actually haven't talked about evening routines. I've just realised that. So let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Evening routine.
Yep.
What would you do in an evening routine?
My first and foremost thing is have a shower. And when I'm in the shower, my intention is to wash the day off.
Yeah.
So when I was in the prison service dealing with all the stress and the stress of working with the prisoners and the workload that I had, I made sure as soon as I come in, I wash the day off. But now I've moved that, so when I go to bed, I have that shower and I wash the day off, and I physically feel that I'm actually scrubbing the day off, so I'm clean.
Yeah. I know for me, I always have a shower, always take my makeup off, always moisturise. My brain is slowing down. But we have this...
slowing down now or when you're going to bed?
When I go to bed.
Okay.
But we have a little routine that we do together, don't we, before we go to bed?
Yep. What's your gratitude, Loz?
I was going to say, take your mind out the gutter.
What's your gratitude? What are you grateful for? So every time we go to bed in the evening, we ask each other, what are the 3 things that you're grateful for?
Yeah. And we always do that, don't we?
Always do that.
And the reason it's so important to do that is because the 5 minutes before you go to bed are the most important moments of your day, because that's what your brain is going to marinate on. So if you are thinking about all the things you haven't done, the things you've got to do, the things aren't enough, that's what you're going to focus on within your subconscious. And I tell you now, even if you just write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that went your way, you will sleep so much better.
Even if you live on your own and you've got a pet, tell your pet.
Yeah.
Tell your pet dog, your pet cat, your pet bird, your pet hamster. Tell them what you're grateful for.
Or your teddy bear.
Or your teddy bear.
Get a teddy bear, get a gratitude teddy bear. And then the last question is, am I trying to follow someone else's rhythm or am I honouring my own?
And I think that's what I was doing with my
Really?
5 o'clock. When I was doing the 2 hours, I was trying to be like the Tim Ferriss who gets up at 4 o'clock and what have you, and doing their routine rather than doing what suits me.
Yeah.
And looking at my Whoop stats now, I get an extra half an hour in bed.
Yeah.
I do less of a morning routine and my stats are so much better than I was trying to shoehorn everything in because I thought that's what I needed to biohack my system. No, listen to your body.
I think that's so important to kind of start to wrap up this with
100%.
that. Exactly what you've just said there is so, so valuable. Well done, Baz.
Cheers, man.
Alrighty, so we have got our listener Q&A. We said that we were going to be talking about this episode, and we do have a question from Vicky in Harrogate. Have I said that right? Harrogate?
Harrogate?
Yeah.
Is that near London, is it?
I don't know the geographic
Sorry,
location.
Vicky. Near Leeds.
Okay, it's near Leeds apparently. So I love it. Thank you. This is why we've got Ben behind the scenes, right? So hello, Vicky.
Hey, Vicky.
Hello, Vicky. Say hello. Hello, Vicky. She sent a question.
I've said hello, Vicky.
Oh, okay, fine, fair enough.
Hi, Vicky. You're getting a lot of airtime today.
And why not? So Vicky says, I'm a solo founder.
Yep.
So she's on her own. She's founded her own business. Good for you.
Congratulations.
But she has a toddler. an amazing another good for you because that's tough, and barely any free time. How do I even start? What would you say to Vicky, Baz?
I would start with something really small, something easy that will fit in with your morning routine.
Yeah.
So even if it is just you get up and you wash your face with cold water, or you get up and you have a glass of water to rehydrate your body.
Yeah.
Start with something really, really small, and we can build on that to a B routine. Then you can really flesh it out with an A routine, but start off with something really small that you don't feel that is too much of a chore to do.
Yeah, I would say let's mould young minds at the same time, right?
Oh yeah,
so you've got a toddler.
Focus. Intentions.
So yeah, absolutely. Say to them some I am statements, and they've got to say some back to you. High five, and then why not play some music and like dance with them to lift that mood, right?
Yep.
So that's what I would say. Something as simple as that.
So get the kids involved.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Love that, Lozzie.
Alrighty, so let's wrap everything up because we have talked about a lot today, and we've talked very much about what morning routines are, what evening routines are. We've kind of called the BS on the whole. You've got to get up at 5 a.m. We've very much talked about you do you. We've talked about intentions with the magic word, and we've talked about the ABC routines, and also we've talked about the 3 dimensions of burnout and some of the things that you can do for mental, physical and emotional, haven't we?
It's so important that you find out if you are struggling, what dimension you're struggling with.
Yeah.
Do the burnout self-assessment.
Absolutely.
But once you found that out, then you can put intention in place to help you out with those.
Definitely. And then, most importantly, at the end, we've talked about, we need to assess and adjust. Yeah. We need to be looking ahead. Have we got a busy time? Have we got a campaign? Have we got school holidays coming up? Whatever we've got. And how do we need to tweak things to make sure that I've still got that, morning routine, evening routine with my intention.
100%.
As always, I'm generous again. So if this resonates with you, just reach out, book a call. Laura Ash at rocksolidhealth.co.uk. That's what we're here for. Let's talk about your morning and evening routine, and we can even break down the whole burnout self-assessment for you once you've done that as well. So there you go.
Awesome. That just leads me to say thank you for listening and watching this podcast. But also, I want to thank Loz for writing all of these podcasts. And I'd love to thank Ben and Rach from your video team who do all of this amazing stuff behind the scenes that you don't see. So it leads me to say we've got one life. Live it, make it count. And I'll see you on the next episode.